Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Heather Myers. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you and getting to the bottom of problems you've asked about. We're looking for solutions. We begin with the state's gas tax, which goes up every year on July 1st. On Monday, you will be paying nearly 60 cents a gallon just in taxes. On average, every Californian that drives pays roughly $300 a year in state gas taxes, and that number's about to go up. CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you and explains how that money is spent.
Starting Monday, the price of gas is going to get a little bit more expensive. The state's gas tax will go up about 2 cents, but there are other fees that you have to pay at the pump. Your receipt won't tell you, but we will. We're working for you to break down what these gas taxes are and what they pay for.
According to AAA, the average price of gas in San Diego is $1.34 more than the national average.
I think it's the highest anybody pays in the whole country.
And Californians pay the highest in gas taxes.
I mean, we're paying a lot of money for gas.
Each year, the state's new gas tax goes into effect on July 1st, which will go up from 58 cents to nearly 60 cents per gallon this year.
Oh, it's just 2 cents. I don't know. It's not much of a problem.
But it's not just the extra 2 cents per gallon. Californians pay about $1.29 in gas taxes and fees per gallon. A CBS 8 viewer wanted to know what are they and what do they pay for.
Apparently it goes for the roads and stuff, but the roads are still all messed up.
Alexis Hernandez is partially correct. The answer is not easy to find. You see, we had to dig through graphs and charts and confirm the Western States Petroleum Association infographic. It breaks down the California Department of Energy's numbers, and here's what we found. Of the $1.29 in taxes, fees, and climate programs that we currently pay per gallon at the pump, drivers in California pay the most in state excise tax in the country. That's the gas tax, which is 57.9 cents per gallon. The federal tax is 18 cents, which has not been raised since 1993. Add 40 cents to pay for environmental programs, 11 cents is paid to local and state sales tax, and 2 cents per gallon pays for underground storage and maintenance for fuel. Officials say that most of the state and federal gas tax goes towards highways, freeways, and roads and repairs, but much of the sales tax revenue pays for public transit. And local governments, such as the city of San Diego, use the money for roads, but also streetlight maintenance and gas lamp quarter lighting. Republicans have been fighting the governor to suspend the gas tax, but prior efforts have been defeated. The governor notes that it brings in $6.5 billion a year to help fix roads. Drivers say the price of gas still makes for a rough ride.
Roads in San Diego needs a lot of work.
Working for you, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Tonight, people living in a Carlsbad neighborhood say a drainage problem has left their yards underwater for years. They are fed up with fighting with the city, and now they are turning to us for help. Again, CBS 8's Abby Black working for you to expose both the problem and the neighbors' plea for repairs.
Neighbors say this is the worst example of the flooding that's been going on in their neighborhood in Lacosta for years. They've had to file lawsuits against the city. We're working for you to find out why it's never been resolved.
It's like insane.
A house dangling off a cliff.
So it's been spreading.
Across the street from Joseph Nevins is a house that looks like a mud pit.
Every time it rained, it would flood inside her house. It would come bubbling up into her living room. It was terrible.
We take a hike to look over the hillside patio development in Carlsbad's Lacosta neighborhood.
This is where it's all started in 2005.
Nevins tells us about another landslide since then.
The initial one went down and took out both houses down below. So it's coming from all the irrigation, all those houses that were built, and the shopping center, because the shopping center has a lot of irrigation.
He says for years he could never get an answer as to why water was seeping into their neighborhood.
And started digging. I dug up reports, I dug up LE engineering, I dug up permits, all kinds of stuff, and I started putting the pieces together. And then we discovered there was a water leak way up, about half a mile up here. The water is coming from the city's property into the HOA.
Over the years, homeowners, including Nevins, have filed lawsuits and settled with the city.
Well, the city is blowing money, paying attorneys to fight the problem where they could fix it for less than they're spending fighting it.
His neighbor is using some of that settlement money to pay for new drainage that's under construction.
You've done a lot of research on this.
Yeah.
You tried to get answers.
Yeah.
And so why did you call us?
Because nobody's doing anything otherwise.
I reached out to the city of Carlsbad and the Olivenheim Municipal Water District. Both say that they don't comment on pending litigation. I followed up and pressed them for a better explanation, but both pointed to each other for further information. Again, I asked for clarification since both have been involved in settlements, which would mean that they bear some responsibility for the water issues. I want to know when this will be fixed for good. The Water District says that one of its leaks that was involved in prior litigation was repaired in 2020. The city has not followed up, and I'm still waiting on the HOA for a comment.
The whole point is to fix it.
Right.
Not keep it. I mean, it just continues. So the point is to let's stop this. Cut it off. Because I don't want to wake up one morning and realize like I'm sitting over nothing when the house goes.
Working for you in Carlsbad, Abby Black, CBS 8.
More housing, including affordable units, are coming to La Mesa, but neighbors have a number of questions that they want answered. A 4-story apartment complex with 19 units will soon replace single-family homes. We are working for you. CBS 8's Alex Lai reached out to the city and developers.
Araceli Guerrero has lived in her La Mesa house on Keeney Street for 27 years. She reached out to CBS 8 looking for answers about why a new development across the street was approved without community input and concerns over fire lane access.
Well, I reached out to the city of La Mesa. I've been basically transferred around, hung up on. Basically, I'm being ignored.
Her son, Christian Jones, is a civil engineer. He says the road between Guerrero's house and the new development needs to be 26 feet wide to allow fire trucks through, although the road right now is around 20 feet. He emailed the fire marshal with his concerns.
The next following month, the code that I cited that would have enforced the 26-foot requirement was removed. And so now 20 feet is applicable, and the reasoning why is still not very clear to me.
I reached out to Heartland Fire and Rescue. The fire chief tells me the 20-foot requirement is in compliance with current fire code and that the state requirement has been in effect since at least 2009.
And they've all check-marked it. We're done and dusted.
To find out more, I reached out to the project development company. I spoke with Justin Brennan, a partner representing the development with Kearney Street, LLC.
The fire code comes number one. And the fire marshals, fire safety, I mean, they're not going to let us do anything that is not stamped and approved by them.
He tells me they are in full compliance with the fire code, the fire marshals, and the city.
These are all the fire marshals' requirements. So they designed it. They told us what they wanted. We've done everything they've asked for and more.
Another concern from Guerrero, she says she was never notified or asked about the project before it was approved.
Immediately, I reached out to the city of La Mesa. I've called, I emailed, I wrote them letters. And the response that I received from them was, there's nothing you can do. This project's been approved.
She says a similar project was proposed years ago and was shut down by concerns from residents. Brennan says there are different requirements for approval depending on the type of project.
So there's ones that require community involvement and there's ones that do not. So this one does not because it involves affordable housing and all kinds of other things involved in it.
Now the project is approved, but Guerrero is still hoping to see change in the future.
I'm asking for the city of La Mesa to do the right thing. Do this, put safety and the residents above profit. So this doesn't happen to somebody else like it has happened to me.
The city of La Mesa sent us a statement that says, in part, the city understands that there are concerns from residents regarding this new proposed development and have met with those residents on multiple occasions in an attempt to address those concerns. In addition, the city brokered meetings between the developer and the concerned residents in an effort to ensure that the issues could be addressed as best as possible by the developer. The development has been fully approved and is waiting for final permits to begin construction. We have an update now on a story that focused on addressing the homelessness crisis. This week, county supervisors killed a plan to build 150 tiny homes in Spring Valley. After pushback from the neighbors, the County Board of Supervisors voted 3-1 to axe the plan for this site off Hamishaw Road. Now officials will try to find a new site for sleeping cabins while still relying on the hotel voucher program. The cabins cost between $5 and $6 million to maintain. The vouchers cost about $9 million a year.
Avoid this. Don't do this. Do not ever, ever, ever leave anyone, animal, human, anything inside a hot car.
A message from doctors after a 2-month-old baby died earlier this month in Santee. She was left in a hot car for hours. More than 20 years ago, California adopted Caitlin's Law. This after 6-month-old Caitlin Marie Russell died after being left in a hot car in Riverside County. Now, almost 24 years after baby Caitlin died, local doctors have this warning. Kirsten Holmes is working for you and spoke to a local doctor and an attorney about the impact of this law.
Even in 80-degree weather, your car can go over 115 degrees.
That's why Dr. Joelle D'Onofrio Odeman, an attending pediatric ER doctor at Rady Children, says do not leave kids in a car even for a minute.
Especially the younger you are, the faster your metabolism and the faster you're prone to getting heat exhaustion, heat stroke, if that's not captured quickly, multi-organ failure and death.
Caitlin's Law was named for Caitlin Marie Russell. She was a 6-month-old baby girl who died after being left in a hot car by her babysitter for 2 hours in August of 2000. In the fall of 2001, Caitlin's Law was adopted in California. Local defense attorney Gretchen Von Helms explains Caitlin's Law like this.
Just illegal to leave a child unattended in a car. No child can be left in a car, even if you have the windows down, even if you have the car running and the air conditioner running full blast.
On Thursday, June 13th, 2024, 2-month-old Diana Sophia Alleman-Roman was found unconscious inside an SUV in Santee. Sheriff's deputies say the family had arrived home at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, and the baby wasn't discovered until after midnight Thursday morning.
They could charge it as child endangerment, they could charge it under Caitlin's Law, or they could also charge manslaughter, which is the illegal, without malice, killing of another human being.
Do the parents have to be charged at all?
No, the parents do not have to be charged, and they may be grieving.
Dr. D'Onofrio Odeman says these deaths are preventable.
Most, like over 50% of the heat deaths that we have in cars are by accident. Usually they're parents who are actually mean to drop their kid off at daycare or preschool. They put them in their car, they're on their way to work, and something happens, they get distracted and they forget.
She also says kids and babies' internal temperature rises 3 to 4 times faster than adults.
Too much time in a hot car is deadly. 2 hours in a hot car, deadly. Every time you leave your car, check the back seats, always.
Kirsten Holmes, CBS 8.
Will we see a repeat of the January flood in southeast San Diego? Coming up next, we visit that flood channel 5 months after the storm. The problems we found that are similar to what led up to the flood. And don't forget, we want to look into the issues affecting you and your community. Email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. We'll be right back. Tonight, the once neglected clogged storm drain that neighbors say is responsible for January's flood disaster appears to be filling back up. This is what it looked like 5 months after the storm and the flood. CBS 8's Jenny Day is working for you to find out what the city is going to do about it.
You know it. People lost family photos, their homes filled with mud and mold. For so many, construction is still underway, and they tell me that the growth and trash in this channel is all new as of January.
Perla Lopez lives in this Mountain View home.
When I go to my house, the water is here.
It backs up against the storm channel on 42nd Street and Ocean View Boulevard.
I have 30 years and never come to clean.
Lopez is one of many who says the city's failure to maintain the storm drains destroyed her home following heavy and historic rainfall in January.
Now I see my house look, I lose everything. I don't have nothing.
After so many lost so much, the city of San Diego brought in emergency crews with heavy equipment to clear out trees, debris, and mud. Even from her backyard today, I could see people at work, so I drove over and found out they were only contracted by the city to fix the fence. But the city tells me they do have plans to maintain our storm drains now at least once a year.
More sad because it's San Diego. I pay the taxes.
This is CBS 8 drone footage from the day after the January 22nd storm. It's filled with huge trees, trash, water, and mud. Other neighbors I talked to agree and say it had been neglected for decades. We flew our drone again after it was all cleared out. Then we were back in the neighborhood again yesterday. Tires, trash, and new trees are growing. I showed these images to the city and asked what the plan is moving forward. A city spokesperson spokesperson says they will conduct repeat maintenance on all 18 miles of channels in the Chollas Creek watershed. That includes this one. They will also monitor them and decide if more than once a year is needed. Funding is secure in the Stormwater Department's 2025 budget.
Now I taken a therapist because mentally affect my life.
Working for you in Mountain View, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
So to come, millions of dollars recovered for victims. The first thing that you should do if you think that you fell for a scam. Tonight, the U.S. Attorney's Office, along with the San Diego FBI, have recovered millions of dollars lost by elderly fraud victims. CBS 8's Shannon Handy has the details, including tips on how to protect yourself against these growing schemes.
U.S. Attorney Tara McGrath says this latest recovery is the result of reporting fraud early, allowing investigators to seize money before it's all gone.
The faster that a victim reports, the more likely we are to recover the funds.
U.S. Attorney of California's Southern District, Tara McGrath, says starting in January of this year, her office teamed up with the FBI, local and state agencies to start a new and aggressive effort to thwart criminals who target seniors. To date, they've recovered $3.3 million by freezing the accounts victims' money has been transferred to and taking it back.
If you think you're a victim and you report within 12 hours, we've got a good chance of getting the money back, or at least freezing it. If it's been more than a week, the money's probably gone. But that doesn't mean that victims shouldn't report, because the information helps law enforcement.
Despite the program's recent success, McGrath says it's a small fraction of the overall loss. According to the FBI, last year, California led the nation in both the number of victims as well as the amount of loss, $2.1 billion. McGrath says in San Diego County alone, it's believed victims of elder abuse lose between $3 and $6 million every month, though it could be more since these types of crimes often go unreported.
There's a lot of stigma to reporting, which is part of the reason why we're trying to get the message out. Anyone can be a victim.
In addition to reporting fraud, McGrath says first and foremost, people need to know what to look out for. Scams normally originate via email, text messages, and phone calls. Legitimate companies don't typically ask you to share your computer screen with them, request your user ID or passwords, ask you to send cash through the mail, buy gift cards, or make deposits into cryptocurrency ATMs. If you're suspicious, hang up or stop responding until you've called the company in question to double check.
If they're legitimate, they'll be okay with it. They will want you to be sure that what you're doing is safe. And if they're not legitimate, then they'll try to keep you hooked. No, 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 you don't need to do that. This is urgent.
Finally, check in on older adults who may have few friends or family and be on the lookout for unusual financial transactions. We have more tips as well as information on how to report fraudulent crimes at CBS8.com. Just click on this story. Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Are you saving enough for retirement? There's a general suggestion for people who are 55 years old and have another decade of work before reaching the traditional retirement age. Have about 8 times your salary in retirement accounts socked away. Unfortunately, only 1 in 5 people in that age group are financially on track for retirement. According to a study from Prudential Financial, only about 20% of 55-year-olds have $450,000 or more saved. In fact, the median savings of today's 55-year-old is about $50,000. Also, 1/3 of 55-year-olds and 43% of 65-year-olds have now postponed retirement due to inflation and the higher cost of living. That's going to do it for us. Remember, if there's something that you would like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. We'll see you next time.